we're on the fourth and final session, which is about technology. And the first key message within this session is pause for play. We're going back to technology. It's in all of our lives. It is a great thing that we can now Google different countries and places and anything that we don't know. And this is a brilliant learning tool and resource for parents and children. And all of us are partaking in the technology world in that way, which is fantastic. However, we are saying the key message is pause time for play. Reduce that screen time with your children. So for 2-year-olds, they really shouldn't have any screen time at all. They explore the world through touching and tasting and exploring, blowing bubbles and playing Play-Doh. For the 2 to 5-year-olds, it's 1 hour a day. And for our 5 plus, 2 hours a day. This is a guide. We all know that we'll fall into the trap of that being a little bit longer or a little bit shorter at times, but it's trying to make steps of understanding the guides and why. We know that pausing for play is giving children real learning in their cognitive, social and emotional development. Screen time has a place, but it's not all of the play. So for us as parents, just to be able to limit that time, reduce it as much as we can and bring in other alternatives to play. We want to say that the resources that are going to come up in the next couple of videos are through CyberSafe Ireland and WebWise, and you'll find these really useful, as I have as a parent. So our second message is healthy tech tips. And this is simple messages that are all going to show you in a video in a few moments of parents having healthy tips around technology with their children. It's around trying to keep those technology out of the bedroom. Would you allow a stranger up the stairs into your child's bedroom? You wouldn't. So think about that when we're allowing technology into the room. Would you show a photo to your granny, is what we're saying to teenagers. If you can't show that photo to your granny, should you be taking that photo? So here's some simple tips on the video to show you how to maybe navigate the technology world with your child. So the third key message is safety net. And the key message here is not to rely on technology alone and to really keep good supervision and guidance and communication open with your children while you're surfing online. The video is self-explanatory. It'll give you lots of different tips around the technology and keeping that whole chat with your child about how to keep safe. It's ever changing. You're never going to be able to beat the different ways around the internet, but keeping a good open relationship and trust is what's going to help you and your family stay safe. There's a great little game called Hangman, which is a brilliant way of getting started of communicating with your child online, and you can play this on the game, which is also a link down below.
Imagine allowing your 9-year-old child to wander alone through the streets of Dublin city centre. You wouldn't do it, would you? And yet we let our children roam freely online, where they are potentially at risk of sharing too much personal information, cyberbullying, accessing harmful content, or even sexual grooming. Of course we want our children to take advantage of all that technology has to offer, but without putting themselves or others at risk. We know it's daunting as a parent. Sometimes there's a big gap between what they're doing online and what we know. But actually, there are some very simple steps that you can take that can make a huge difference. The single most important thing that you can do is to start the conversation with your child. Make it normal to talk about what they're seeing and doing online. Talk about what apps and games they like, who they like to play with and to talk to, and which YouTubers they're following. Ask what mean comments or behaviour they have seen and how this makes them feel. And, just as in the real world, talk about what's okay and not okay to do online. Consistently remind them that they can come to you if anything worries or upsets them. Do your research. Ask a clued-in friend, or go online yourself. A good idea is to start with a Google search on the word safety and the name of each app or game that your child wants to use, such as Snapchat or Instagram. Find out what the risks are, and if you are going to allow your child to use it, find out what settings you can use to make it as safe as possible. Don't assume that things are age appropriate on a specific app or on a certain kind of phone or tablet. You can do a similar Google search for each device that they are using. Most have technical settings which you can use to restrict what they can access, and YouTube can be helpful in showing you how. Be aware though that as kids get older, they find ways around things, so don't rely on technology alone. There really is no substitute for parental supervision and guidance. If your child is online, it should always be under your watchful eye, with clear rules agreed in advance. Be consistent with these. Model the behaviour when you can by setting a good example, and don't forget that kids need reminders. There is so much that we can do as parents to ensure that our children are stronger, smarter and safer online. Get started by checking out www.cybersafeireland.org for some great ideas and resources.
Fourth and final message is be in control, and this is going to show you a video from Webwise, and it's really for all parents who have children who have phones, and it's about really trying to look at how children can be taken advantage of online. And it's a very good video just to show you ways of children can be taken advantage of and to really keep our children safe while they are online.
Oh, this is cute. Oh.
So that's the end of our For the Family sessions. Myself and Joy have done this under social distancing and sticking to the rules, but we wanted to get it out to you guys. Out of the 16 messages, we'd be delighted if you took one or two and maybe practice them over time. And they will eventually become embedded in your home, just like ours. We have found it really helpful and practical. Just to say that children misbehave a third of the time, so we're all with you here as parents. Just keep on practicing some of the tips and you will notice a difference.
So again, Mary talked about the booklet. We're going to be able to make this available to you at the end, and particularly on the back page we've referenced everywhere that we've got our content from. So if it was through the Positive Parenting or through the resources from the internet, through Healthy Ireland, through Cybersafe Ireland, Webwise, Incredible Ears, there's Parenting 24/7 from the TUSLA website too. That's all included here, and we can reference that for you. If you feel like some of those tips are really helpful and you would like to get more, please contact myself or Mary, and we'd be happy to direct you to some parenting programs or other children and family services. So we hope that you enjoyed the program, and remember that parenting is tough, but that you are tougher.